Do you want to learn how to make adorable nail art? Well, you've stumbled into the best free virtual nail class. Subscribe to stay in school, like this video to keep learning, and get ready to make today's subject 3D pumpkins. Today, I'm working with Creation 3D Modeling Gel in black. I'm not sponsored by any of the products that I use in these videos, and I'm not trying to sell you anything. I just like listing these products for a helpful reference for those who need it. The Creation 3D Gel is a little bit harder and more crumbly. Others can be soft and sticky. If you're working with a 3D product that is sticking to your gloves, you can add a little bit of alcohol to them, and that'll help stop it from sticking. First step is going to be to roll a little ball of product and find out your placement that you would like to put your little pumpkin on the nail. Then you want to make sure that you really press it into the nail. Especially if you put a little bit of alcohol on your gloves, you might find that there is some resistance to getting it to stick down, but you just need to keep pressing it in. Only while wearing gloves. Okay, step 2, now we're going to form the outline of our shape. I'm using a tiny curved spatula to do this. That was actually sold as an earwax scoop at a TNT grocery store. You're welcome. So now we're sketching in the details with our earwax scoop or spatula. You don't have to worry about finessing the details. We are sketching in the details because there's going to be more steps of refining that take place after this. Now I'm going to go in with my silicone tool and use that to define the details that I laid out with my spatula. The reason I do the first part with a metal implement and then the second part with the silicone tool is the metal implement is going to cut deeper, whereas the silicone tool is going to be better for actually sculpting your shape. Once you're happy with the shape of your pumpkin, you're going to go ahead and add your little stem. I found it easiest to roll it into a little log and then add it using a separate tool as opposed to my fingers. And then I use the silicone tool instead of my finger to stamp it down to the nail. And then once I'm happy with the placement of that, I'm going to go in with a small paintbrush dipped in alcohol, and I use that to smooth over all of the little cracks and little lines. I also do a little pat and press technique similar to what you would use with acrylic, and I feather the edges of the shape into the nail, especially on smaller details like the stem, and that just makes sure that the edges are sealed down as much as possible onto the nail. Once you're happy with it, go ahead and cure it for 60 seconds twice. This is just going to ensure that everything is cured, and then you're left with this adorable little pumpkin ready to paint. Now, when you're painting onto 3D sculpted nail art, you want to be really careful because the gel polish can seep into the lines, and that's just going to erase all of the detail that you've worked so hard on sculpting into the shape. I use my gel paint really sparingly, and I'm only painting it on top of the segments, using the black 3D clay underneath essentially as your outline. It may look a little patchy at first, but after you go in with your second coat, you're going to see it'll look a lot more solid. Because we're going to be topping off these little pumpkins with a glow-in-the-dark effect, I wanted to use neon colors with a super white base, both to really sell that glow-in-the-dark look and give the glow-in-the-dark finish the best canvas possible. Okay, so now we're going to add our glow-in-the-dark top coat. We are going to paint it on the exact same way that we painted on our color, only painting on top of the segments, being very careful not to get anything in the crevices. This glow-in-the-dark top coat is also by Creation, and it has a thicker consistency. I was a little concerned about this consistency being too thick for full nail coverage. The thickness is perfect for nail art. Okay, it's time for the final reveal. They turned out so stinking cute. I am so impressed by this glow effect. I was honestly way more impressed than I was expecting to be with the results. I took a long exposure photo of it with my iPhone as well. She's glowing so good. And they're on short natural nails. You can do a lot more on short nails than a lot of people think. If you made it all the way to the end, thank you so much. Leave a little pumpkin emoji below so I know. And like and subscribe to see more tutorials and nail education.